What's good, Detroit Sports Nation? I am Eric Vincent, your host here at the DSN News Desk. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your time and support. And if you made it through that Pistons watch tonight, I give you a standing ovation and an applause, man. Pistons are reaching a tough plateau at this point in the season, and after a 31-point loss tonight against the Philadelphia 76ers, something's got to shake sooner or later. Now, mind you, this was supposed to be the game that was going to be flexed to TNT for prime time. And thank the heavens that did not happen. This was supposed to be a primetime game, and the Pistons were flexed out because of how bad their performance has been. They've dealt with injuries all season, and this was another example of that. 147-116 final score, just bad all around, man. The Pistons have been dealing enough with injuries as is, and to now kick some more dirt on them. Isaiah Stewart didn't suit up tonight. Bojan Bogdanovic didn't play tonight. Jalen Duren's still dealing with an ankle injury, and this team is really struggling, man. This Anthony Davis type help on top of already having to deal with being young and inexperienced and dealing with those kind of growing pains. This is making out for a rough year as a Piston fan, man. I can't lie. I really cannot. This has been a tough watch. And again, it's getting to a point where I think something's got to shake. I don't know what it is that Troy Weaver may have under the palm of his head, but he's got to pull something off. Because these kind of games, even with the inexperience, even with this team being so young, these kind of performances can't keep turning out. You can't keep getting whopped by 30. You can't keep putting these horrendous defensive displays on film every night. The Pistons are ranked near the bottom for defensive rankings. At this point, you can't convince me that they're not the worst defensive team in the NBA, especially already not having Jalen Duren on the floor, not having Beef Stew. We already knew this was going to be an issue because Nerlens Noel had to start. Kevin Knox started in his place, and they routed off with Killian Hayes, Jaden Ivey, and Sadiq Bey starting as well. And it was nasty all around. I mean, Philly already one of the best teams in the league, top 10 in offensive rankings in the NBA, and they flexed every bit of it tonight. 36 points from Joel Embiid, 11 rebounds, triple-double for James Harden with 16, 12, and 15. So bad that James Harden only shot the ball 7 times against the Pistons. And anybody who knows James Harden, he is a volume chucker at all costs, and he didn't even have to be that tonight. Didn't have to be half of that tonight. He was in cruise control, being a facilitator, being a playmaker, doing the other stuff, getting his other guys involved. Tyrese Maxey chipping in with 16. Their plus minuses, all three of those guys are above 30 in plus minus. Plus 31 for Tyrese Maxey, plus 35 for James Harden, and a plus 36 for Joel Embiid. This was bad. This is a really bad watch. Again, the defense for this team is just abysmal. And you can only expect this with considering what they're going to be trotting out and considering who they're missing. You couldn't have expected this to go any other way. I mean, gave no resistance in the paint. There was a lot of backdoor cuts. We're still seeing the Pistons, refuse to get back after a made bucket and not let the team that you just scored on chuck a pass down the court to get an easy layup. It's not even transition because it only transitions if you miss or come off a turnover. These are made buckets, and the Sixers and other opponents are inbounding the ball for easy layups because your team is not sprinting and getting back in half court to play defense. This has got to stop, man. This is really bad. And again, considering how high Bojan Bogdanovic's value is, I won't be surprised if he's traded before the trade deadline at this point. Before the All-Star break at this point. I don't think they're going to wait, considering how bad this team is at this point. Even without Cade Cunningham, even without all these issues that you've been dealing with, something has to change. I don't think they have a consistent small forward or power forward that they can rely on for the future yet. I feel like they're going through a lot of influx with Sadiq Bey, who's been inconsistent. You even saw it again tonight. 4-14 from the field, 0-6 from 3. He really wasn't his consistent self again. Up and down Sadiq. That's what we've been seeing all season. Jaden Ivey, 17 points from him. 4 turnovers. Now, I remember last time I talked about Jaden Ivey, I said I wasn't too stressed about the turnovers that he's making because in the perfect situation for the Pistons, he's not going to be your primary ball handler. And these kind of turnovers will hopefully be minimized, kind of how we saw at the start of the season when Cade was on the floor. But these turnovers are becoming an eyesore for Jaden Ivey. The way he, will gun at 100 miles an hour down the lane, jump up in the air, and then look for somebody to throw to on like some Russell Westbrook type stuff, that is frustrating and rough to watch. Now, granted, he is a rookie, so that gives him some bail for making those kind of mistakes. You want him to be able to learn from that as he progresses throughout his years. But in his rookie year now, and especially considering the help that's around him, it was pretty rough watching Jaden Ivey, be the primary decision maker for the team today. Again, I don't think this is going to be his primary job with the Pistons, so I'm not stressing it too much. Killian Hayes didn't really give him a whole lot of help. 5 points, 2 of 11, 6 assists, but not a strong game from Killian overall. 13 points from Kevin Knox, 17 from Rodney McGruder. If Rodney McGruder's tying you off the bench with your lead high of the game, that's not a good look. That's not a good look at all. Pistons bench was strong, and they've been strong really all season, but it's not a good thing to me because while you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in double digits, you got McGruder with 17, Alec Burks with 16, Hamidou with 14, and Corey Joseph with 10. Even with 5, or no, sorry, that's 4, excuse me. I can't even count today, excuse me. 4 players in double digits off the bench. Even with that being as productive as that is, it's not being complemented with the starters and getting like a star performance of somebody that can give you 25, and then maybe somebody else that can piggyback off of that with a 17-point to 22-point night as well. You're not getting enough of that consistently with the Pistons. Like, if you had this bench scoring this much, with Cade giving you around 20, 25, with Jaden Ivey chipping in 17, and an efficient, 15 to 16, 17 from Sadiq and Isaiah Stewart and whoever else, and Bojan being as productive as he's been, then that bench scoring helps you. But when they're leading the charge on a night-in, night-out basis, that ain't a good look. So, Pistons really got to do something soon, man. Like, they really do. And I've been saying I don't want Alec Burks traded. I really like how he fits on this team. He kind of got a little bit of sloppiness on some of his possessions playing one-on-one basketball, but I still like the value that he brings to this team as a young veteran. It's getting to a point where they might have to pull the trigger on him because of his contract. Again, they can't keep trying this out. You can't keep letting the Pistons get destroyed the way they are defensively. Like, even when they have Bojan in the lineup, like, he gives you the scoring that he gives you, but you're not getting any defense behind that. So sometimes it's okay to sacrifice defense for offense, but at this rate, when you're letting up 147 points in one sitting, you can't survive with that. You can't survive with that on a night-to-night basis, man. So, listen, something's going to shake with this team sooner than later. I feel it coming. I really do. I don't know what it's going to look like. And whatever it is, it has to be something to help solidify for your future, because you got to start seeing some things lined up accordingly. You have to. Like, this is unwatchable basketball at this point. It's unwatchable. There's nothing wrong with losing. I have no problem with the final score being ugly. I have no problem with, you losing a couple games and not looking as crisp as you're supposed to, especially for a young team. But they are putting out unwatchable basketball in January at this point. And again, this is against a great team, one of the favorites in the East. I didn't expect this to go any other way. But we've seen this in stretches now. We've seen this in building inconsistency. Like, they just got beat up by the Sixers on Sunday. They've been getting beat up a lot defensively. They're one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. So even when they look good, their perimeter defense is atrocious. The way they let backdoor cuts slide out just easily and repetitively, that has to stop. The way they don't rotate, the way they don't talk at times, and then seeing them offensively as well. It seems like they just play a lot of one-on-one basketball that doesn't really translate to nothing. So, I don't know, man. Something's got to shake at a certain point, because this team they're teetering around a dangerous area right now. We just need Cade Cunningham back, baby. Cade, I hope you get better soon, man. We miss you. We miss you a lot, Cade, right about now. Talk to me in the comment section, though. I'd love to hear your feedback about the Detroit Pistons. If you watched the game tonight, let me know how you thought about the game. What did you think about the performance? Are you still watching the Pistons? I'd love to hear that feedback from you. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. If you're locking in, get new to the channel, make sure you lock in with us at Detroit Sports Nation on our social media as well. Make sure you search and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Search and follow Detroit Sports Nation, and lock in with me as well on my social media at I am Eric Vincent. Thank you all so much for your support. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you being here. I'll be back again soon right here with another update from the DSN News Desk. Peace.